Welcome to this IBML online course. Field technicians assigned to service and maintain the ImageTrack 6000 series scanners, which includes the ImageTrack Lite, ImageTrack 6300, and the ImageTrack 6400 models. Please note that this course is for general information only and should not be used as a guide for replacing parts or installing upgrades. Refer to the ImageTrack 6000 series hardware reference manual for more detailed information. In this course, you will learn how to properly start up the ImageTrack 6000 series scanner, how to properly shut down the ImageTrack 6000 series scanner, and how to identify the master power supply and the critical adjustment points, and how to identify voltage wires based on color coding. For safety purposes during this lesson, the ImageTrack has been turned off and the power has been disconnected from any outlets. All the covers have been removed so the internal components can be seen. In the first section of the course, we will provide you with the information you need to properly start up and shut down the ImageTrack 6000 series scanners. We will begin by discussing starting up the scanner. The first step is to turn on the host PC, which is a Dell workstation. Once the host PC is on, the next step is to log in to the host PC using a customer-specific network account. Once the Windows desktop loads, you can start the ImageTrack 6000 series scanner by pressing the power switch located on the scanner into the on position. Moving the standby switch to the on position provides AC power to the entire ImageTrack 6000 series. At this point, the Real-Time Transport Controller, also known as RTC, will initialize the scanner transport and the multi-head inkjet printers. These components must initialize for the scanner to function properly. The RTC is an IBML-designed board which controls the scanner transport and multi-head inkjet printers. After a few seconds, you will notice all track fans will cycle once. The inkjet printer heads will move to their home position, and the pocket stacker spindles will rotate once. These actions are good indications of the scanner transport being initialized properly and the RTC functioning correctly. But this is not all that is needed to run the scanner. Image Server also needs to be started. Note, it can be started either before or after the standby power switch is turned on. Image Server starts automatically when either Scan Client or PARM Setup is opened. Once the Image Server is started, it is displayed on the bottom right corner of the task tray and identified with an icon that looks like a traffic light. A green light indicates data communication between the RTC and host PC, as well as the camera board initialization located in the host PC. Primary ImageTrack applications, such as hardware setup, parameter setup, or capture suite, may now be used to test and run the scanner. The functionality of Image Server, PARM Setup, and Scan Client will be explained later in Course 2. To start up the ImageTrack 6000 series scanner, turn on the host PC and let it fully boot up. Turn the standby power switch to on. Give the system time to initialize the Real-Time Transport Controller. When you see the Image Server connected, you can begin using primary ImageTrack applications. Next, we will learn about the proper way to shut down an ImageTrack 6000 series scanner. To properly shut down an ImageTrack, you should first close any open applications including, but not limited to, Capture Suite, Parameter Setup, Hardware Setup. Be sure there are no applications left open and running before you shut down. Once you've closed all the applications, turn the power switch to the off position. This action will power down the scanner. Once the scanner has been turned off, you should follow the Windows shutdown procedure to turn off the host PC. It is important to note that when the scanner's power switch is in the off position, AC power is still supplied to the internal host PC. Before servicing, the scanner must be disconnected from the AC power supply. For a 220-volt scanner, you will disconnect a US connection twist lock plug. For the 110-volt scanners or the image track light model, you will simply disconnect a simple plug, much like you would find on a PC. To shut down the image track 6000 series scanner, close all applications running on the PC. Turn the power switch to off. Shut down the host PC. Disconnect the scanner from the AC power supply before servicing. In the next section of the course, we will learn about the procedures for checking and adjusting voltage, how to identify wire voltage color coding, and how to locate the master power supply and the power adjustment points. First, let's look at the transport frame main power box. This part is also known as the DC secondary master power supply. There are two possible part numbers for the DC secondary master power supply. They are 125-00367 and 125-00373. These parts are basically the same in many respects, except one stands vertically, which is the master, and the other lays horizontally, which is an add-on. The voltage status indicators on the power box are LED lights, which are connected to the power status control board. They are good indicators of the current voltage status. However, you should still verify that the correct voltages are present on the outputs of the unloaded and loaded DC distribution boards using a calibrated DC voltmeter. You will verify this at the connector locations J4, J14, and J2. If necessary, you should adjust the outputs of the power supply 081-00049 located on the unloaded distribution board. Let's find out what the output reading for each voltage should be. On a fully loaded distribution board, which is part number 150-00140, the resulting voltages will be lower at this same point. Let's find out what the output reading for each voltage should be. It is important to know that the wires for each voltage are color-coded. Let's go over the color-coding system for these wires. 5-volt wires are black and red. 24-volt wires are black and purple. And 28-volt wires are black and gray. The master power supply adjustment points are located on the top portion of the master power supply. On this board, there are 3 gold flathead screws located next to the connector of the appropriate color-coded wires. Turning the screws clockwise adjusts the voltage higher, and turning them counterclockwise adjusts the voltages lower. Finally, let's look at the pocket frame DC secondary add-on power supply. As mentioned before, the part number for an add-on power supply is 125-00373. Depending on the scanner configuration, there could be multiple DC add-on power supply plugs. There is one located in the 4th frame, and an additional one located in each frame following the 4th. This concludes the course. By now, you should feel comfortable powering the ImageTrack 6000 series scanner on and off, and identifying and adjusting voltages on the power boards. It's time to test your knowledge. The next portion of the training consists of a 10-question quiz. When you are ready to begin the quiz, click Continue.